Happy Wednesday, everybody. Last day before break, right? Well, let's talk about what's going on today in class. So, yesterday, you had a big quiz. You had a big quiz on traveling and the children of Birmingham. You took that quiz on Savas. Just making sure, double checking, make sure that all of you have submitted and completed that quiz on Savas. If you haven't, you got to do that. Here's another reminder. If you happen to miss a class or for some reason the call was glitchy or anything like that, remember, all the classes for the last 3 days, the first, the second, and today the third, they are on my YouTube channel. You can search my YouTube channel online. We've talked about that. Or you can I posted the links in the bulletin board on campus, and you can literally watch these videos over again to make sure that you are 100% up to speed on what you should be doing. For today, you should have submitted not only that Savas quiz, but in class then after the quiz, you worked on 2 evidence logs. You worked on the evidence log for Frank McCain dies and the children of Birmingham. Please double check and make sure that you have submitted those 2 separate evidence logs in on campus and that is 100% complete and done. If you've done that, you're good to go. Let's talk about what we will be doing today. Today, we'll be looking at a new story called Sheyann Webb. Again, you're going to want to go into Savas. So if you are not already in Savas, that would be step number 1 right now here is getting into Savas and going into this particular story right here called Sheyann Webb. I'm going to go into it right now. It's amazing how quick Savas works when there aren't 50 people, all doing it at once, right? You guys probably are not quite getting as fast as I am right now. Well, got all blurry. Let me see if I can fix that. All right, there we go. Okay, sorry for the delay. Hopefully that helped give you time to get your Savas open. Planned this so well. All right, this is the story Sheyann Webb. And just to give you a little background information on the story, this story about Sheyann Webb, she's a real life girl who decided to participate in a protest. While she was participating in this protest, and you're going to be reading this story, you're going to be reading her story. While she was participating in her protest, the police came and on horseback and started beating protesters. Gas was used, clubs were used. It was a very dramatic and horrible thing for the protesters. Sheyann was, of course, not very old at this time. She was protesting, was just a teen, about your age, maybe even a little younger. And she's caught in the crossfire, basically, of this brutality. Fortunately, another protester is able to get her home safely. And then, of course, she has to speak with her parents who didn't even know she was out on this protest and found out that she was, very nearly hurt drastically and stuff like that. So it's a very interesting and very powerful story of a real life person who protested, person your age, that we can relate to and that we can look at and see what she was going through. You will be reading this story together in class today, and you'll be working with a partner again. Now, today, I'm going to let you choose whichever partner you would like to work with in class. It doesn't have to be the opposite gender this time, but you do have to be working successfully on the story. And that means you are going to be expecting to be working hard, not messing around, not goofing around. That just goes without saying when I'm not here. Obviously, if I hear differently, that's going to be a big issue for us. So please don't make a problem. I know I can trust you guys to do that, but I have to say it. I mean, let's be honest. Logan is in this classroom, so we have to be, fourth hour Logan's not in this classroom, but in fourth hour we got JJ. So JJ or Logan, if those 2 people are involved in the classroom, we do have to at least state that obvious statement, okay? So now that that's been said and that's out of the way, I know you guys will be working very hard with your partner of your choice. Now, what do you and your partner need to do? First thing is obvious, you're going to read the story one time. When you read the story one time, this is going to be a lot like we did the other day, 2 days ago, with the children of Birmingham. You will be going into the Making Meaning tab right here and clicking on the first read. When you click on the first read, this should look very familiar because it is basically the same thing. Okay, you'll be completing this chart. And like I said, you've already completed one of these charts and turned them in for children in Birmingham. You're going to do the very same thing with Sheyann and Webb. So what is it about? Who is involved? You're going to go ahead and write your answers in here with your partner after you've read it one time or while you're reading it the first time. Then you're going to be annotating vocabulary. In this story again, there maybe isn't that high level of vocabulary, but I would like you to find at least 1 or 2 words that are more unfamiliar, at least to some people, that you could add in on this part of the chart. Scroll down to the connecting. You're going to be connecting this story with what you already know, have already read in this unit. Other stories, this has some obvious connections with some of the other stories that we've read. You're going to write your thoughts in there. Please make sure that when I say write your thoughts, I'm not looking for a brief, tiny little fragment sentence. I'm actually looking for something thoughtful, a few sentences, maybe a paragraph that would explain and give your thoughts. Then you can go to right here. This is where you will write a summary. Okay, no comprehension check necessary, but you will be writing a summary in the respond section of that chart. So that's step 1. Remember, this is Savas. So again, the only way to save my work is to X out. But hopefully this is something that we can get done in class and it really won't be that big of a problem. Obviously, my online students, again, I'm sorry, but since it's a little bit more challenging to work in partner groups, I know our substitute teacher will probably mute the volume of the classroom as soon as this video is done so that you guys aren't distracted by that. However, so you could talk with other people in the call if that's helpful for you to ask some questions or whatever, but it's more likely when you're at home, you're probably going to be doing this assignment individually. All right, the second thing that you will be doing once you've read it one time and completed the first read chart is you will be reading it a second time. Yep, you're going to read it twice. Again, reading it twice is so important. One time is not enough. One time and then kind of poaching for little sections. That's not how I want you to handle this. You have enough time to read the story 2 times. I would like you to read the story a second time with your partner, but this time doing the close read chart. And again, this should look very familiar. It's the same chart that you did for the children of Birmingham. In this section right here, this is the annotate, question, conclude. So what you are typing in here is those 3 parts. Please label them. You're going to type in annotate. And for that, you're going to find one particular section of this story that you're going to close read. You have to figure out what you want to close read this time. I'm not telling you what to look for. You have to find something yourself that you think is interesting or unique or has a certain literary element that you can talk about. You annotate what you found, then you write the question. And then finally, you and your partner will come up with a few conclusions to the question you created. Next, in the Analyze the Text section. Again, this part is more independent learning. So you guys are showing me by doing these activities that you can find things yourself in literature without me having to just hand it to you. So what you're trying to do in Analyze the Text is you're trying to find some sort of a literary element that the author uses. So when you're reading it the second time with your partner, you're trying to look for, is there some imagery that the author uses here? Is there charged language that the author uses? What did the author, dialogue, similes or metaphors? What are some possible things that we've learned about in school this year? We've learned about in English 9, some of those literary terms that we talk about, parallelism, whatever you can find. What is one element that you can find that the author used? You're going to write down what you found and then talk about what that does to the story. That's what you do in the Analyze the Text section of this chart. And then last but not least, you will be, together with your partner, picking a paragraph from the text that grabbed your interest and explaining the power of that passage. Okay, so again, you don't have to type in the whole paragraph, obviously, You'll just refer to which paragraph you're talking about and then write down why that paragraph was especially powerful to you. Reminder, read it once, do the first read chart, read it twice, do the second read chart. You do need to work with a partner in the classroom here. If there is an odd person out, of course, then you'll make a group of 3. Okay, that's the expectation. Please get to it, work really hard, hopefully get this assignment done. And once you finish this up, have a wonderful winter break. I'm gonna call it winter break. Have a wonderful little break here, and we will see you back on Monday.